Michael Crispin Clarke's Crisp Bites. Hello. Welcome to my shorter form show. Today we will be looking at 3 flavours of crisps by Snacktastic, the Lidl version of their own brand crisps. Here we are. So, what we're going to have a look at here are crisps that you may find here in the UK. There are UK flavours that are very good for crisps. Quite often they are seen in places such as the British packed lunch, used here during our lunchtime breaks for those who work. Here are the 3 flavours. We have cheese and onion, prawn cocktail and roast chicken. As you can see, they are in descending order of popularity or ascending order in rarity. That is combined into this very simple selection that is obviously made for utility rather than grand indulgence. But how can we not have crisps be a little luxury in our daily lives? Let's bosh out what these 3 crisps are like, starting with cheese and onion. A very quick overview. Front, blue. Sometimes blue is used for cheese and onion. Sometimes green is used for cheese and onion. It varies depending on company, but they made it very clear, cheese and onion, blue. Snacktastic with potato gold as their star in the background. After all, it is the premier savoury snack. The back has some literature. It mentions that it is a Snacktastic range where they pride themselves on high quality products, high quality flavour to satisfy your savoury cravings. Ingredients are potatoes, various oils, cheaper oils of rapeseed and sunflower, we know this. And the flavouring comes from powders, which we might be able to see inside, and such as yeast powder, cheese powder, lactose powder, garlic powder, and a little bit of citric acid. Tart. Let us have a look at its grammage, 25 grams per bag. This has become a UK standard after some kind of standardisation, shrinkflation. Now if you see anything under 25 grams, you know they're having a laugh. Here is a decent representation of these crisps when you find a good one. You can see that they're going quite fine to the skin, as you will get little dots of where the skin might be. There's definitely powders that you can feel under finger, and the aroma is rather strong. Let's have a taste, shall we? Onion forward, cheesy, warming notes to accompany it. A little bit sour at the end. Citric acid, maybe. The actual quality of these bags, if we were to take a bit of a look, strangely enough, these cheese and onion, which I have often represented as being such a strong flavour that you would get away with lower quality crisps, I can only find from a surface rummage one crisp that has a blemish. This is a mid-level blemish. You can tell it was probably either a little bit that you would dig out if you were making a baked potato, but it wouldn't bother you so much. No greenery here. Overall, cheese and onion crisps. Oniony, cheesy. Maybe if they were onion and cheese crisps, but it just doesn't sound right. 6 out of 10. Decent. Whoa! Prawn cocktail, zinging, pink, prawns. Potatoes on the side again. Literature is all the same, 25 grams. Ingredients this time is a tomato powder. You see it's based on the vagueness of the sauce, the cocktail sauce that you would have with a prawn cocktail, and less of the prawns. Again with the onion and yeast powder. Onion powder, the allium base, and yeast powder, the savoury taste. Allium base, savoury taste. Paprika extract in order to give it that reddish pink glow that we like so much. Having a look inside, nice aroma, again coming through. The sort of a spicy tomato is what we are really getting here. The crisps in this bag are slightly smaller and are entering dangerously close to broken crumb levels. Let's see if I can find a slightly larger intact crisp. Oh goody, look! A folded over crisp. This crisp would have folded over once it touched the hot oil, so we're quite lucky that it has remained intact. Again, quite close to the skin, you can see details of the potato skin. No bothers on that, that's extra fibre for us. Let's try it, shall we? I'm going to go for another. Hold me on this one. Hold. Yes, individually this crisp leaves a little bit more on the fingers, but it has a sharp, muted kind of flavour. It's hard to sort of describe with just one, but it builds with two. And with the multiple crisps that you may be consuming within a pack, 25 grams standard, do not accept anything less. These crisps are kind of on the lower end of prawn cocktail crisps. Now, I haven't been able to source some yet, but my mind would represent the best prawn cocktail crisp as being the Frit Ravitch prawn cocktail crisps that I have had many a times when on the continent. This here, pale imitation to that, but close enough to more milder prawn cocktail accoutrement, things like skips, which are melt in the mouth kind of a savoury snack. Borderline crisp. I still quite rate them. Very 90s. I don't know, just old. Yes, even after a break, that sharpness still comes back. So, whilst I tried a few more, and I perhaps should have, it was all in good fun. Looking at this again, very serviceable, decent bag of crisps, prawn cocktail. If you haven't tried it, price that. 6 out of 10. Whoa, careful, don't want to get lost. It's roast chicken. Roast chicken with an orangey kind of, not quite terracotta here, but orangey kind of colour. Roast chicken, interesting. Here in the UK, it tends to be mostly allium based. It's giving you that roasted sort of potatoes with onion and garlic and maybe a little bit of a herby aftertaste as well. We are looking at the whole dish of a roast chicken dinner and not just the chicken itself. Sometimes they do, unfortunately, have flakes of chicken put in there. I think it is just enough to kind of not be worth it. Chicken stock is a very weak stock when it compares to other stronger flavours. Same with putting little flakes of chicken and then bursting it with things like alliums and herbs. You're at risk of overpowering your subtler flavours for a risk of eradicating those who are vegetarians. Luckily, this again, being on the budget end of crisps, does not have any meat in it. No, its flavouring seasoning is a secret upon here, but we can understand that it has the savoury ingredients of that allium base, onion powder, with the savoury taste of yeast extract. Oh my! It seems that we've got the best quality potatoes in this bag, ladies and gentlemen. Just look at the size of this crisp. Compared to the other crisps that we have seen, this is much larger and much better. It leads credence to my prediction that those crisps with the subtler flavours are given the more high quality potato cuts, whilst those with stronger flavours, such as prawn cocktail and cheese and onion, are given the lesser quality crisps. After all, you'll be less likely to taste the potato. Let's see what we can taste with this one. Interesting. There is something always interesting with a roast chicken flavoured crisp. Not trying to imitate the chicken itself, but closer to the meal experience. That bite there had the onions, garlic, almost kind of like a light gravy. Not American gravy, but British gravy. That kind of a watery vegetable stock, chicken stock kind of gravy. It also had the herbaceous end notes, but kind of muted, kind of more like the herbs you'd get in something dried and stewed, like a pot noodle sort of a herb, rather than a fresh from the garden herb. Overall, it makes a much more uplifted crisp compared to the other two that we've had here today, ladies and gentlemen. And so, not surprising to me, but I'm going to give this rarer crisp in the UK roast chicken a 7 out of 10. There you have it. Quick crisp reviews for our crisp bites. My name is Crispin Clarke. I love my crisps, and I love you.